I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. Now, before you jump into this episode, if this conversation resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and share this with whoever you feel that needs to hear it. Together, your support helps us sustain this work, bringing transformational wisdom into the world and nurturing the awakening of our shared foundation, Mother Earth. Thank you very much. Welcome, Sïrï, to this Divine Design podcast in Fauske.
Yes, and welcome Ann-Peggy to Fauske in this brilliant sunshine and weather today.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
So lovely to have you here.
Yeah, and this day is like, this isn't every day.
No.
So we are so lucky to do this podcast outside in Nordland, Fauske, where you live.
Yes.
And it is 9 hours drive for me to come to you.
Yes,
So it's the first time I meet you in person.
Yes, and it's so lovely to have you here, finally, close to my heart.
And today we discussed talking about what is actually happening in the world, because it's kind of, is it the third world war? We know that Israel, Iran and America is bombing, and it started Saturday. And so we are in the beginning, and how will this escalate, and how can we navigate in this? And you said something, and I want you to say it yourself, how you think about what is happening, and I can take it from there. What are your thoughts about what is happening in the big world?
I'm here because the light is supposed to come through me and to everyone, like it does in my art, you know.
Yeah.
And so I don't watch news, and I don't listen to news. I know what's happening, and I don't take it in. I just let it pass, so to speak. So I see that this is something, this war situation is something that the patriarch system in the world is exposing themselves happily, and then it crumbles to pieces again, because the light will make the trolls crack in the sunlight. Yeah. So sitting here in the sunlight is very symbolic, Peggy.
Yeah, it is.
And because I don't feel scared, I don't feel insecure, I feel so assured that this will pass, this too shall pass, and the light will conquer, and peace will come to earth in a more feminine way. Don't you agree about that?
I agree very much.
Yes.
But a lot of people are asking, but what about the people living in Iran? What about the people living in Israel? And they are, a lot of people are dying and wounded. What about those people? So I understand their concern, and what can we do? To speak about it is one thing, and also to see that true suffer and it's not necessary, because someone asked, do we need to suffer to come to enlightenment? Not all of us, because the new children, as I see it, they are born with a new system. They don't need to go to suffer, but the one, us, we are invited to see all our layers, to see all our personalities, and see all our what we have lived through in the dark age, because this is kind of, I see it as a expression of the dark age. It has to come up, as you say, the trolls have to come up, so into the light, so that we can create heaven on earth. So this is necessary to create what we collective have said yes to, because on the collective level, all humans have said, yes, we are ready for a shift. We are so tired of surviving, reacting, making wars. It is kind of, we are killing our brothers and sisters. It's insane. It's like we are babies, kind of. The consciousness, it is like we haven't matured at all.
No.
So we are now all invited to the next step evolution, and it is a totally change in living. It's like we live with heaven on earth inside, it's kind of, and we meet the world through this. So all of us are kind of invited to live as, I call it, homo luminous. A lot of people, I have several friends have told me, do you know that it's several people that talk about homo luminous? I say, oh, perfect. So we know that homo luminous, it is the new human, but it is us. What we are waiting for is ourselves to go to the next step, divinity. And divinity, I heard an explanation about divinity just a week ago, and it was actually Greg Braden that said that divinity means transcending the programming. And it's like, because all of us are divine. We have a divine nature. So instead of reacting from programming as we have done, reacting, we live from our divine nature and transcend all this old programming, living as Homo sapiens in reactive. So yes, so I see this as an invitation for all of us to the next step, the next divinity step, living as divine. We are, the essence of us is divinity. So how can we embody it? Because for so many years, thousands of years, we have spoken about divinity as a mental concept. It is not a mental concept. It is an embodiment. So how can we live it out?
I think it's also got to do with that we have to go down from being up in our minds and go down into our hearts, because without the heart, this will continue to happen on earth. And the mind is to do, to think, to manage stuff and to control and push people down by fear. That's the masculine way of doing things, instead of the female way of being in peace and being in light and being in love. And so I feel there must be a third way of seeing things now, and a third way of doing things and being, so that we lift ourselves up from what's happening now, and so seeing it from above, so to speak. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
And this is the divine that you're talking about. We lift ourselves and to see that, oh, this is not the way to do it anymore. And that's the great shift has been happening over many years, really, but now is the time to speak about it. So both you and I are, and many of us are here to help this process accelerate. Because like we talked about in the morning, all is now, and now is all. That is a meditation I actually published in 2018. 8 years ago. I had this coming to me. All is now, and now is all. And many philosophers and gurus and leaders in the world have said the power is in the now. So if we all talk and speak and be and am, and instead of doing things, we go back into our hearts. That's where the now is. And that's what we ever will have, and we ever have had. So to be now.
And also when you talk about it,
peace.
Eckhart Tolle came.
Yes,
and so he has also spoken about this for years. Being and the indigenous tribes have spoken about it. So it is kind of the ancient legacy of us. We know that everything is in the here and now. But when we react, then we know that we are in our programming. So it is, we can all the time, okay, was I reacting to this? Okay, then I know that I'm still in my programming. Because if you are from your heart, you don't react. And I will give an example, because now it popped an example. I was invited into Maria Lodge. It's kind of working with helping people to live from love. So I was invited, and this was my first meeting, and we were 3 new women that were supposed to go in this Maria Lodge. And when we came, we were met by a very old woman, and she thought that we should come an hour later. We wasn't, but she didn't know everything was attached. So she was an old woman, and she started to shout at us, yell at us, and the 3 of us was kind of there, and we had one that was leading us, that was guiding us. And she wasn't there. She was at the toilet. So the three new of us, we was there, and this old lady shouting us out, and why are you here? You are not supposed to be here. You should no. And both of the other two reacted, and I saw the fear in their eyes because she was again in my back, so I didn't react. But I saw the face of the other two that were in this, and they was kind of, and I just, what is going on? And then I started to talk to her. Well, it must be in her misunderstanding, and then, but she yelled at me too. But I saw the reaction. They were very reacted, and they were, because even though in the Maria Lodge is kind of hierarchy, and we were at the bottom. We were three new that were supposed to come into this system for the first time, and the first we met was yelling, and they reacted. And I was in peace because I understand that she herself, even though she was one of the oldest one in this system, she also attacked us, even though she did it from her programming. So when we are in peace, like I was in peace, and this is many years ago, you know that, okay, you are in the here and now. You don't go to all this reaction. But I saw the fear in their eyes and thought, okay, they are afraid. But I have been there. So I have done the deep work. So that's kind of, when we react, as long as I reacted, there was something there for me. I hadn't gone through it all. So since I have gone through this life and also past life, I don't say that everyone have to go to past life, but for me it was important because I was born with pattern that I wanted to solve in this life. So I was born with a grief and pattern that was triggered very early in my life so that I could work them like karma. It's not to punish me, it's not to suffer, but I set it up before I incarnated. I set up this pattern, I want to work through it. So I was born with a heart effect, and this heart effect was actually a lot of sadness, a lot of sorrow, a lot of loss, grief. So I wanted in this life to work through this grief, so I have kind of attracted hard circumstances because I wanted to work through them just in this life and past life. So the heart was actually my birthmark for what I had set up, even though I didn't know it and my parents didn't know, and all. I remember my family said, "Oh, you survived. You wasn't supposed to survive because it was critical," and we taught from the old paradigm, and yeah. But this was, now I understand it. So now I have kind of summoned up all my life, and this is the path we have chosen to become Homo Luminous. So I have walked the path, and now live as Homo Luminous. And you also, you have walked your path, kind of, and then we come to peace inside. So we are not supposed to judge others on their path. We can help them, like sisters, brothers.
We can.
Yeah.
So, thinking and speaking of this war situation and attack of each other's nations and stuff like that, it's more like I was being asked in another podcast many years ago, what do you think about Russia's leader? And then I went into my heart and I saw that it's nothing but programming and childhood. So he's a little boy sitting there with a button that is very dangerous and can destroy very much here on earth. And such things happen. So, and boys will be boys. That's not a judgment, but that's the way the male brain works, and the male way of doing is working. So we need to remove ourselves from both that and the pure feminine, but the mix of everything, and so go into peace and into the heart and the divine way of living. And to ask you, Ann-Peggy, because you study theology and you read the Bible and you're more religiously focused than I am. From your perspective, what would Jesus do in this situation, you think?
Jesus was peace. He was peace. So, and I talk with Jesus very often, but not in a religious way.
No, I see.
I don't see Jesus as Christianity. I'm sorry to say, I don't see it as Christianity, because the Christianity is built up of dogma, and Jesus is not dogma. Jesus, he said that what I have become, you can become. So he showed the way. So he was like, you can follow me, and he didn't mean that we should put him in a pedestal, put him up there. He said, what I am, you can become, and you can do much more. So he showed us peace. So he showed us the way, and when I started to meet Jesus, I am not raised religious. My mother and father, so I have not been into the religious at all. So when I had more and more kind of downloads and speaking with other entities, and when I met Jesus several times, the first time I said, no, I don't want to meet you. So I refused because I wasn't a Christian. But he came several times, and one of the biggest meeting with him was that I was supposed to meet my ancestor. And when I met my ancestor, it was on the Finnmark plateau. It was snow inferno, and I just saw that my ancestors sat there with a fire, and I went and I just saw his back. And when I went to him, and we didn't watch each other in the beginning, we just stared at the fire. And then when I turned against him, I saw Jesus. It was Jesus. Jesus, are you my ancestor? And I was so shocked, kind of. It's like, are you my ancestor? And he didn't speak. And he said, I have a gift for you. And he took his head forward to me, and I met his head. So it's like this. Yeah. And then he transformed peace. And I started to cry in this because this was emotional big, because I have been in this programming. So what he actually did, he freed me from my programming.
Wow.
And after that, it's like, wow, this is I feel it now in all my body. It was the biggest gift almost that I have, because living in this program mind, it is so exhausted, because the doctor said that I will die. So this was a couple of years afterwards, I met him, and he transformed peace, and after that, I am in peace. So I know that for someone, it's like, okay, you have met Jesus. All of us can meet Jesus. But Jesus isn't our religion. He is the path. He is the path to live as Homo luminous. I have spoken about Homo luminous children. They are born from the same state as Jesus. So I write in one of the books that the new generation that is born, they are the same as Jesus. So we have waited for a savior or Jesus, but it is millions of children. So do we want to kill all the children? Because if one savior came and it was Jesus, we wanted to kill him. Even today, we see what's happening in the world. So we would do the same. Someone would try to kill if you know that one Jesus was birthed. But now it is millions of Christ consciousness that are born in children. And actually, I will meet one of them tomorrow. So I'm here in Fauske, and as I have said, a friend of me have birthed a child, and this child, Benjamin, is Homo luminous. So yeah, I look forward tomorrow to meet him. So this is, Iran is a symbol, and what's happening in the Middle East is a symbol of the old. It is a last kind of cramp from the old programming. And all the new babies, Homo luminous, invites us to live in another way. And Jesus, when we say Jesus, I know that someone will be disappointed that I said it's not Christianity's Christ, but Christ is universal. It is a universal Christ. It is not a religious Christ. It is a universal spiritual Christ. So Christ consciousness, we are all invited to Christ consciousness. And it is not the old doctrine hierarchy, because Christ never wanted hierarchy. He actually showed us that no one is above and no one is under. We are all equals.
Like you said a few minutes ago about it was all a misunderstanding. And I think also the Bible, and taking that literally spoken, and doing it the way religious people are doing now, it's a way of misunderstanding it all. Because Jesus was, like you say, peace, and he wanted people to live in peace and help each other. And if someone did something to you, you shouldn't react, like you said. And so I totally agree. I've never been religious myself either, but I've always thought that what he did, everyone can do.
Yeah.
So everyone is a healer,
Yeah.
everyone is a friend,
Yeah.
everyone is peace.
Yeah.
So let's stay that way.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
Like he did.
Yeah.
And he also said, I remember one sentence very clearly. He also said in the Bible, I think is there in the New Testament, am I right? Let the small children come to me.
Yeah.
And now, let the small children, Homo luminous, come to us.
Yeah.
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 And be the new world.
Yeah.
So, and we are in it too. I'm so
Yeah.
happy about that.
Yeah. And also when we talk about Christ, he actually was a reincarnation. He had lived several lives. So all life leading up to the Christ life.
Mm.
So he said what, I don't remember it literally, but it was what Adam was, I was. So he, if you see, they have, the church didn't want people to believe in reincarnation because then they didn't have any power. If they know that life is reincarnated, at that you have a second chance and a second chance, and Jesus actually talk about this as the the gift of God, because we are getting second chance with so many possibility.
Mm.
So it is possibility, another chance, and it's not like we are punished, but all lives we are given the gift to be more and more tuned to our divine gift.
Mm.
And one person that has come to me the latest is Edgar Casey. I don't know if you know about.
No, not familiar.
It is because he did regression and he also went into hypnosis, and he channeled a lot of Christ's story. And he said that Christ actually, he was studying spirituality, gnosis, and so he wasn't born. Yeah, he was born, but he wasn't born. Kind of, he had it all. His mother was prepared because it was known that Maria was supposed to birth it, so she was prepared. So he was delivered by that mother that was preparing him, and also he was prepared and went to school and studied in India for 70 years, Egypt and India. So he also went the path. So it's not like, oh, you are birthed and you are kind of enlightened. Even though he had the foundation, the most important about this story is that mothers, like we have, both of us have 5 children. If we know that what we do and our beliefs and our programming, what we do when we birth a child, this is the foundation. So the foundation, if we start to see the new system in another way, when we as mother wants children, we start to prepare ourselves. We align with the soul before we become pregnant. And we prepare ourselves because this is a sacred, holy thing to do. This is the most sacred we can do as women. Birth children, and then we know that what we eat, what we think, we are in kind of a... So we need to see women in another way. We are birthing the future. And it is so important what's happening when we have the baby in our womb, and also the first years, because this is kind of the foundation. We hold the sacred space for our children. So the most important about this story about Jesus is that if we learn from the Maria was prepared to deliver Jesus, and we can prepare to deliver children. I wasn't prepared, so I did the preparedness after I birthed them. So now I help my children to kind of come in this. And I have spoken about my daughter that has a hard time, and she is shedding a lot of the shadow side, the programming. So she walked the same path as me in her way, so that she is coming in balance. So all of us are invited, even the men, because we need the fathers also to be in alignment. So if we see the story that we have been told, it is to hold us down. It has been hierarchy. It's kind of some few that wanted power, and this old structure still wants to hold. But this is what is shaking now, really shaking, because we are now making new structure. And I said yes in 2013 to be one of them, but I had no idea that it would be this way. So I have been guided all the way through. I was 6 years in the dark night of the soul, There's the train.
There's a train.
And people are walking here, so it is. But
That's life.
That's life. We are outside.
Peaceful life.
Peaceful life.
We're so lucky to live in Norway, you know.
We are so lucky to live in Norway. And
And I've also heard many times, look to the north. The wisdom shall come from the north. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yes.
And when you say it, I'm reminded that we have a responsibility.
Yeah, we do.
We have a responsibility in this Nordic country, not because we are better. We are not better, but we are small. It is easy to make new system in smaller country. We are only 5 million, and 5 million in a country, long country, and a lot of amazing nature. So we have been giving a lotto ticket, kind of.
Yeah.
And we have a stewardship responsibility for our sisters and brothers.
Yes.
That's also why I do the podcast.
That's a good thing. Peaceful podcast.
Peace, yeah.
Yeah. Divine light.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know that I have written just a book about peace.
No, tell me more.
I do ceremony, private ceremony. So the latest book came in a new moon ceremony, and it was the architecture of peace.
Interesting.
So I wasn't planned to do this, but I understand why it came through me, because I am peace. We have written a lot of books about peace, but if the writer isn't themselves in peace, it will reflect it. So it will be mental, kind of. I'm not mental in peace. I am body peace. So that's it. This book is born through me. So it's called practical peace. So I talk about how can we live with peace practical in everyday life. What we have spoken about is this.
Yeah.
So it comes from the inside.
Yeah. Not planned either, but do you want to know what this architecture of peace looks like? On a canvas or on a paper?
Yeah.
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 Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I channel everything you say now, I put into my heart.
Yeah.
And when I come home, it needs to come out. So I'm
I
wondering
see it.
if
I
you
see
wanted
it.
to see that.
I see peace do a peace bird. Dove.
Yeah.
Peace dove. Yeah. I see peace dove, because when I made the cover of this, it was peace dove, of course. Yeah. White peace dove. Yeah.
Lovely.
Wow. Yeah. 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 Wow. Yeah. So we are, yeah. And I love what's happening in this podcast, because we just had talking about what is happening right now, and we went from talking about war, and now we talk about peace. So it is, when we have war in one side, we have peace in the other. So it is kind of on the same polarity.
Would you say it's like a seesaw? That it's two parts sitting on each side, and it's about coming to the middle to rise and ascend, like you say.
Yeah.
To transcend.
Yeah. To live heaven on earth. And also in Casey's reading, he also said that Jesus had said that he saw that all of us will transcend and live. So even Jesus had said it, and I have seen it myself. And that's why I talk about homo luminous. I don't know which label Jesus used, but it doesn't matter. Label is just a label, but it is the new way of life.
I strongly feel that it needs to come down from the mind to the heart. That's what I see.
Yeah.
That's magic. That's a fly in March in Norway, northern Norway, in the snow.
Yeah, it was cold, so I need to have my gloves.
Yeah.
So even though, wow.
Lovely.
So yes, what more is it to say about what is happening? This is an invitation. It is an invitation to choose with higher consciousness, not to react. So this is the most. And for Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland, this book I have written, I have been guided to all Nordic countries need to use this as a foundation. Not that I am better than anyone, but it is birthed through me, because I myself is in peace. Because the Nordic country, they have, Sweden and Norway and Denmark, we have already been into other countries in the Middle East and other to help them to come into agreement. This is our gift. All nations have gifts, And we, and as the Nordic country, we are the most balanced and small system. So it's, since we already have it, it is our responsibility to help, because we have it peacefully. It starts here and then it will ripple. So yeah.
Let's send some peace then to the world.
We send peace to the world, and yeah, all listening, and yeah, take some minutes to go inward and just feel the peace, not in your head but in your heart, as you say. Be peace. Be the change you want to see. Yeah, then now Mahatma Gandhi want to be here. He said, and I use this so much, be the change you want to see in the world. And I have become the change I want to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If this conversation resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share this with whoever you feel that needs to hear it. Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another Heaven on Earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.